What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. No More White here again. I hope everyone is going to have a happy Thanksgiving, or I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. At the time of filming this is the day before Thanksgiving, so as you guys know, I told you before in the last video, I am going to be very busy in the next couple weeks, so I at least wanted to try and get one video out to you guys of the Civic. This thing it's been kicking my butt on the wiring. As you guys know, my goal was to put this on the EMU Black, just like the Lexus is. And what I actually did was just unplug the EMU Black from the Lexus and tried to wire it into my Civic here. That's the beauty of the standalone. You can take them to whatever car you want, provided the wiring is right. The thing about the Lexus though, it did come with a plug-and-play adapter, and so that was easy. I didn't have to wire anything. I just literally plugged in one end of the wire, plugged in the other end of the wire, and voila, everything worked. That is not the case with the Civic at all. I literally had to do every single wire one by one, look at the Honda diagrams, look at EMU's diagrams. It was just a mess of wiring I had to do, and I think I'm to the point where I can start it up for the first time. I don't know if everything is going to go super smooth in this video. I am not sure yet, so just bear with me on that. But I have been spending the last few days, actually probably the last week, off and on just getting this thing wired, and obviously I'm not going to show you guys all that, but it is a lot of wiring and just trying to figure out things that I'm going to use in the future. So I was trying to think ahead so I can just wire everything at once, but I know that's not going to be the case. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do something else in case something goes wrong today anyway. Yeah, let me show you. I got the car in the garage, so I'll just show you guys kind of what it looks like and give you a brief rundown. If you guys want a video of actually how to hook up a standalone or wire a standalone up to one of these old Civics or an Integra or whatever, just ask me in the comments, and I'll do my best to try and help you guys out. So here's where we left off. I don't believe last time I had this intercooler pipe in here. I know I've had it in here before and you guys have seen it when I took it on the first drive. Actually, yeah, you did see it. I did have my buddy weld up the intake air temperature sensor, which is just in the back of the intercooler pipe right there. So that is wired into the EMU. My goal was to use all of the factory wiring, which, I mean, it's not ideal because this wiring is from 1989, but nonetheless, it was working and it has been working. So all I did was make a patch harness inside the car. So the only thing I have left to do out here is to run I have to run a vacuum line from the bottom of my wastegate to the compressor housing, so that way this thing can open up on time. I have a 5-pound spring in here right now because I'm pretty sure that's good enough for what I need to start off with. I don't have a wastegate dumped yet, and I'm really kind of upset that if I do go drive this, it's going to just shoot hot exhaust right into this radiator, which is not ideal, but I think it'll be okay. My buddy fixed my downpipe. I don't know if I can really show it to you guys. I'll try and see if I can show it to you guys. It's gonna be bright outside, so you might not see it, but I don't know. There it is. It just shoots straight out to the back. He did a really good job on it. I just wrapped it. Aside from that, everything else is more or less the same. I do have the stock injectors in there still. Haven't got around to getting the WRX ones in there yet. I'm pretty sure that these stock injectors will allow me to run 5 pounds of boost. It's not, again, it's not what I'm gonna do. I'm just doing it now just to get this video out and kind of just make sure the car starts and runs, because it's different having a distributor instead of having the coil, you know, individual coils. So, you know, it's just a whole mess of stuff I had to learn and get going. So, and inside the car, still got the battery in the trunk, but inside here you can see all my mess of wiring. Got everything wired to the EMU Black, pretty much using the factory Honda wires, all these guys right here, and then they're just running into the EMU Black. Not everything, just obviously what I need. And then I had to wire up the wideband stuff, and I have the boost controller wired in. I'm gonna hook up a launch control on the clutch switch. You know, all this extra stuff that I know I'll need in the future. So as of now though, this is how I hope everything will run. I know it looks like a mess. I'll clean it up when it's done. Actually, all this stuff sits underneath the carpet here. That's why I have it folded back. But I do need to run to the parts store and get a few more hoses and some fittings and whatnot so that I can hook up this wastegate. And then I also need to run, I know there's one more thing. Oh yeah, I need to run a map sensor source or pressure source through the firewall and into the EMU. I am going to try and see if this factory map sensor will work. This Honda one, I did wire it up. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I would like to use that because then I don't have to run a hose into the firewall and risk, you know, a rubber hose getting pinched and not giving the correct reading. But I don't know, I'll have to see. Like I said, this is all brand new to me, so we'll figure it out. But let me run to the parts store and I'll get right back to you guys in a minute. So I got the car outside now. Remember, this thing is just an open down pipe, so it's gonna be loud if it does start. I did get my pressure source from the compressor housing. Oh, you can see it better over here. This here goes to the front of the compressor housing right here and just to the bottom of the wastegate. And I'm not using a boost controller. This just has a 5-pound spring in here, so not like the Lexus. I'm not that far yet. I'm just going to use the spring pressure just to regulate boost as of now. So bottom of the gate, and then the top of the gate is just wide open. It's just open, vented to atmosphere, so that'll work like that. The only thing I needed to test is make sure that this fan was going to turn on. The thing about the standalone is obviously I went away from all the factory stuff, so I have it wired up here. Coolant fan output, I also had wired up the main relay to this fuel pump output, so that works. I tested it, works fine. I've tested all the injectors, I've tested everything, so far everything seems fine, and I hope everything is right. And then the fan here, you can just set this stuff up. You know, like I said, I can go through all this stuff if you guys really want to know, but I do need to test it to make sure that it works, so that's why I'm going to see if this works and show you guys how to do that. So I'm going to key on the car. Make sure that you have connection, which is green down there, perfect. And then if I invert this output right here, I should hear the fan come on, so let me see if I can get it to do that. Oh yeah, fan came on. Awesome, so I know that works. All right, well, here comes the moment of truth. Let me hop over there and try and start this thing. Let's give this a whirl. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, fuel pump primed. Heard that. Go ahead and try and start this guy up. Hey, it's running. Look at this stuff real quick. Make sure everything is looking all right. Sounds good so far. Sweet. Let me go outside and take a look. I don't know if you guys could hear me, but I was losing cam sync. The RPMs were just dropping randomly, just dropping out completely, and you could see right here cam sync trigger, which is basically the crankshaft needs to be synced to the camshaft in order for it to fire the ejectors and everything right. So it's VR sensors, so you do get a lot of noise by meaning like electrical noise, and so it was just dropping the signal every now and again. So what I did was go to the trigger section in the EMU, and I switched my input filter to high, and then I also disabled cam sync above 600 RPMs. So once it gets above 600 RPMs, it'll just lock where it's at, so it should stay in sync the whole time, and I hope that that fixes it. But other than that, guys, all my wiring is working out so far, all of this mess. That was stressful. I've done a lot of wiring in the past, and so I'm not really scared of the wiring, but there are some things I had to learn about, which was taking scopes of the triggers and whatnot. And I know I do a lot of talking, guys, I'm sorry, but it's just kind of the person I am. This is the only way you're going to learn, and it's the only way that I learned. So I'm glad that it ran. I'm glad that it ran, and doesn't seem like there's any issues. Obviously, I have to tune the car now. I need to adjust the V table, the fuel table, the ignition table. I pretty much just kind of, I don't know, guessed at it based on what I've done in the past with most Hondas. So that it'll just be where it's at. Obviously, I had to set up my base timing, and that's perfect. I checked it with the timing light. It's spot on. So the EMU is doing its job. Obviously, the radiator fan works. Main relay is working good because that's powering all the injectors and blah blah blah. So all of that works now. Pretty much just going to take it out for a drive and see if I can make some kind of boost with it, and kind of just see where these stock injectors are as of now. Again, I don't plan on leaving them like that. I'm going to go to the 440 WRX injectors, and but I just want to get, you know, some kind of base tune dialed in or close enough to where I can drive it. And then when I do switch to 85, you need to have a good base map of normal fuel, so that way you can just switch what the wideband reads and how it reads, and all of that should just kind of correlate and transfer over. So I'm gonna try and go for a ride now. I'll take you guys with me. I don't really know how it's gonna go, what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be driving it and stopping a lot, and tuning and driving and stopping, so we'll just see how it goes. Far so good. Seems to be running all right. It drove pretty good. Made 3 pounds of boost total. Everything seems to be doing all right. I'm just gonna make a few. I'm at the gas station. I'm gonna get some gas. I don't know what's in here now. It could be 87. I'm gonna try and put some 91 in here and just kind of mix it in and see what happens. But ultimately, 5 pounds of boost is nothing. So it should be fine to make that even on 87 octane. But I'm gonna try and put some better gas in here. But yeah, everything looks pretty good. 3 pounds of boost, it made that pretty easily. I'm not even full throttle. That was like 37% on the TPS. So yeah, sounds good, and it seems to be running all right. I haven't lost cam sync again, so that's good. So yeah, let me throw some gas in here and we'll drive around some more. Did my first full throttle pull on that, and the injector duty cycle is at 95%. Obviously these are stock injectors, and that's just not ideal, but you know, it did the same thing with the Lexus. I don't have the capability of turning up the fuel pressure on this car, so I mean, I didn't really expect to get far on them anyway. Like I said, I'm just out here trying to tune it a little bit better so I can actually drive it. But it did make 5 pounds of boost. Wastegate opened and it just made a solid 5, maybe 5.1 pounds of boost. That entire pull through third from about, I just matted the throttle at 3,400 RPM and it just made, you know, 20 or 5 pounds of boost. So everything looked good though. Fueling was a little off, but still not too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the fuel a little bit, and then I'll probably just, I don't know, do a couple more pulls and then just kind of just see how it goes. But it's running good. So. Well guys, I made it back home. Didn't want to keep just driving around and stopping and tuning and showing you guys all that. It's pretty boring, but overall the car ran really good. There was a lot of fueling adjustments I had to make. Didn't really do anything to ignition timing, but as I told you before, not planning on keeping these stock injectors in there, but they were allowing me to make 5 pounds of boost at the very ragged edge of the injector, but still made 5 pounds of boost and it was fine. AFRs were great and everything seemed to be okay. Didn't overheat. Fan came on like it should and everything. So there's a lot of fine tuning you have to do to get it to be able to, you know, drive like a stock car. But let's be honest, it's not gonna really be a stock car anymore. So the tune as of now, I drove around for about, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours, and just on the freeway, city driving and everything, and I got it to where I can enjoy it for now. But yeah, makes 5 pounds of boost, makes it pretty easily. The wastegate, I'll show you. Wastegate is, you know, pointed right at the radiator, but fortunately didn't really get the radiator very black and sooty. You could see up in the wastegate there, it, you know, it did open up and it's all black in there. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but you know, fortunately my downpipe didn't get turned black and nothing else turned black. But everything is good. Didn't push any coolant out, none of that. So everything I think seems to be fine so far. The EMU is doing perfectly fine. So now I just have to focus on cleaning all of this up and you know, just go from there. But everything is working as it should, so I'm happy with that. Just gonna leave you guys with that. I know this really wasn't a very exciting video of me doing anything real cool, but like I said, I wanted to at least not leave you guys on a cliffhanger for the next month or so while I'm busy just, you know, being with family, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, all that stuff. So as I mentioned before, I hope you guys all have a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. But yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. If you have any comments or questions about how to set up the standalone, doesn't even have to be the EMU, it can be something else. I just personally like the EMU, and so far it's been treating me well. I don't have any issues with it at all. So if you guys do need help with setting that stuff up, do remember that I am on Instagram. My tag, I don't know, I'll put it somewhere down in the description, and you guys can feel free to reach out to me whenever you'd like. But as of now, this thing is running great. I did put some 91 in it. I am going to change the spark plugs because the spark plugs are still, the stock spark plugs are in there and the stock gap is there. I need to go to a colder plug range and tighten up the gap a little bit. But that's all minor things I can deal with later. Haven't had any issues at all. So I'll leave you guys with that. If it's your first time on the channel, appreciate you guys stopping by. The channel has been growing as always, and it's all because you guys are taking the time to watch the videos. So do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the videos. Definitely try and get it out there if you can. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.